Hi, Bridget here, and welcome to the first video in my 10-part video series on the top 10 habits for a thriving relationship. I put this video series together as I really wanted to share my experience and give you some further insight into the top 10 habits that I detailed in the book. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about communication, as effective communication really is the cornerstone of a truly successful and healthy relationship. And there are 5 key points that I'd like to make. The first one is about not allowing your grievances to build up. And this was something that I did for a really long time. I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to create conflict. So I just didn't share my thoughts and feelings and frustrations or disappointments as they arose, and instead they would build and build and build, and then like a volcano, all my anger and frustration and resentment would just come gushing out. And as you can imagine, in those circumstances, my partner wasn't particularly interested in listening to what I had to say, and nor was I really interested in listening to his side of the story at that time. So it's really important to make sure that you are sharing your thoughts and your feelings and your needs as they come along. The second thing I want to talk about is about learning to listen. When we think about communication, we often think about what it is that we want to say. And although it's important to learn to communicate your thoughts and feelings in a really calm and positive way, it's just as important to make sure that we're listening to what it is that our partner's saying to us. By truly listening to them shows respect, and it says that you are important to me and what you have to say is important to me. And the best way to really learn to listen is to slow down and not think about what you are going to say next, or respond or be defensive to what it is that your partner's saying to you. Which leads me into my third point. When you're starting a conversation with your partner and you start that conversation in a negative tone or with contempt or with resentment, then the studies indicate there's a 96% chance that conversation will end in the same way. So I want you to think about that when you next start a discussion with your partner, that you really need to start that conversation in a positive and calm way. So that leads me to the fourth point, is that when you enter a conversation, you really want resolution to be your goal. And I recommend that you are spending only 20% of your time talking about the actual issue or the problem, and 80% of your time talking about the possible solutions. And if you're able to do that, you will be well on your way to a more effective form of communication within your relationship. Now, the fifth point I wanted to talk to you about is, for some people, verbal communication can be difficult. And I recommend in those circumstances that you write it out. It can also be quite beneficial if you feel that the communication channels in your relationship really have broken down. By writing a letter to your partner, it will really allow you to get to the heart of the matter. You certainly won't say anything in haste or something that you don't mean. And again, when you're writing, spend 80% of the time talking about what you see as the possible solutions, and 20% of the time talking about the actual problem or issue. Writing is also really effective because it allows the receiver to really digest what it is that you have to say, so really listen to what it is that you're trying to say, and it gives them time to really consider how they feel about it before they respond to you. So in summary, don't let your grievances build up. Start your conversations with a really positive and calm tone. Learn to listen effectively. Spend 80% of your time talking about the solution, 20% on the problem, and if necessary, write it out. I'd love for you to share your comments and feedback about this particular video, or your own experiences with effective or ineffective forms of communication. So please do leave your comments below, and I will surely come back and join the conversation. So next week I'll be talking to you about looking after yourself and why it's so important to do this in order to have a healthy relationship. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye for now.